Alright guys, today I wanted to point out three things. One is a local thing and two like kind of global things. So locally, Bitcoin is still in a very narrow region going sideways without moving much one way or another. So in principle, it's a very unclear situation. We don't know where it will go. One thing is though, the BitMEX funding and premium index is negative for a while. And usually like statistically, when it happens, we have the growth after that. Here and here you can look at the history, like almost always we see that. Of course it's gradually going up again, but often the pump happens exactly after we are reaching kind of a neutral situation. But still, this is very important, like we have this negative area for a while. Of course it's not that low as it was, for example, over here, so you wouldn't expect like immediate pump, immediate pullback, but maybe it adds additional chance for the growth than for the dump. But this is a local thing. The other thing, which is more global, let's look at the daily time frame. This I wanted to point out. If you'll compare two cases, the drop in 2018 and the drop in 2019, there's a very strong similarity between them in terms of behavior of the lows and with the correspondence of RSI. So you see, when we were dropping, we didn't reach the low. We were somewhere at the middle of the drop. RSI was very low, oversold territory. The same thing happens here. RSI was very low, and then eventually price continued to fall, but RSI value was going up. And the same here, the price made another leg to the downside. Actually this low was lower, and we have the lows on RSI going up. The lows going up on RSI and going down on price means that we have the bullish divergence. Quite strong though, it's a daily time frame. Moreover, we have the structure of RSI. You see this kind of a peak over here and peak over here. This one actually looks almost like head and shoulders, although it shouldn't be applied in this situation. But anyway, there's an obvious similarity between these two cases. Yesterday I was telling you guys that I'm pretty bearish right now because we didn't have a chance to go up. It looks like a manipulation. Price may go much lower, but even if it will, maybe it will happen eventually, but it's very likely that we will make the same situation as we was here and make a small rally like that. And yeah, it will be a relief. So be careful with entering this train, like going very heavy on the long side, because it may actually return going to go down and the new dump will continue. So history will not repeat itself, but just at least in some period maybe it will repeat, but not overall. And another thing which I was going to mention is like that if we will make just a simple translation of the previous cycle price action to this area, well, of course we can adjust the scale a little bit, but then matching the lows, you will see that this is pretty similar. And then eventually we were going up. If you will like follow the previous cycle price behavior, then we were going up, accumulating here for a while, then accumulating here, then accumulating here. It was a gradual rise with some corrections, but pretty fast the price recovered, and then we had the major pump. Here instead, we didn't have a chance to accumulate here long, and instead of that we went up very fast, so it was kind of a mini pump here. But right now, if you will just follow the previous price action, it seems like we are returning to the second zone, the zone of the second accumulation here, the yellow one. And in principle, if you look at it like that, we are just feeling the unnatural rise which we had with the dump, with the following dump, and we need to just to accumulate in this area for a while. And as soon as we will do that, we can continue to grow. And indeed, the lowest area here is like $5,500. In principle, it's confluent with price targets which I gave you yesterday. So we could go in this area for a while, maybe a few months, and then in the beginning, even in the beginning of the next year, we can rise to this zone above $10,000. So it would be a very nice scenario in my opinion. There is one thing though, that of course the scale shouldn't be exactly the same because market is bigger, so the capitalization is higher, then you need more time to move it. So in principle this process should be slower. And second thing is that since we don't have the accumulation like we had here, here or here, we actually have the pump and dump after that, then inertia of this dump may bring the price much lower than if it would be without this pump and dump, if it would be just continuing with this kind of accumulation phase, second one. So maybe it will not be exactly the same as it would be if the previous cycle would repeat itself, but still it gives some kind of a hope that will not actually drop like below $3,000 or something, but still will reaccumulate here and will continue to rise. It will just take a little bit more time than we all wanted. Okay guys, that is it for today. I hope that it was useful. Thank you for watching.